Please welcome to the stage, Ingrid H. Turner. Who here sees faces when you close your eyes? Strangers, faces you've never seen before. I remember the first time I had a mediumship experience that stopped me in my tracks. I was 7 years old. There was this man in my head, and he was telling me this really sad story about his lover and how he was losing her because he was fading away piece by piece. I grabbed a pen and paper and I wrote this poem from the perspective of this 30-something-year-old man. And then I went to show it to my parents, and they were busy cleaning the pantry or something. It's like, get out of here, kid, we're busy, which is fair. There were 3 of us. But the next day, my dad asked me about it so many times. Why did you write it from the perspective of a grown man, Ingrid? And I didn't have the language or understanding to explain what happened, so I just said, I don't know. If you've heard a voice outside your head, like a voice say your name, Ingrid, it's freaky, right? That's called clairaudience. Clairaudient mediumship. And the first time I actually heard a voice like in my ear was when I was a teenager. It said my name. I remember I told my little brother about it, and he goes, whoa, me too. Who here has been told they're too sensitive? Me too. When I was a kid, I was the poster child for you're too sensitive. I cried all the time. It drove everyone around me nuts. But that's because no one understood what an empathic kid was in those days. So I spent a lot of time alone in the woods where I could finally feel like I wasn't completely overwhelmed. When I was 12, my father passed away really suddenly, and it just shattered me. But back then, there really wasn't a framework to help kids with mental health stuff or to support us through the grieving process. And at 21, I had a baby. I became a solo parent to an incredible little human who is now an incredible big human. And even though I had good family support, the day in and day out of working more than full time, taking care of a child on my own, navigating challenging relationships just continued to erode away at my ability to cope. It led me to self-soothe with alcohol quite early. And I crawled deep into that bottle. My alcoholism led me to make extremely poor choices at work, in my relationships, creating lots of drama, and driving me into this ugly medley of self-pity and self-righteousness. Ugh. I finally took a good hard look at my life and the choices I'd been making. Not just the choice to disappear into that bottle, but all the choices I'd made up to that point. I came face to face with all the ways I had been living out of integrity, denying my authenticity. And that was uncomfy. Eventually, this led to my spiritual awakening, which to this day I count as one of the most profound experiences of my life. Today, I live the literal life of my dreams. I travel full-time, I write poetry every day, I've published multiple books, and I have dozens more in the pipeline. I'm working with incredible musicians in Nashville and Los Angeles to write songs and give voice to the stories that the dead tell me. And I founded a church. It's called the Bhava Soulful Mission. I help people find their unique spiritual abilities and then help them step into leadership with those abilities. I feel like I'm empowering people to really live and share their magic, because we need as much magic as we can get nowadays. I believe psychic development is the next iteration for humanity. I think it's the next evolution in consciousness. I've never seen this path lead anywhere but to love. I get to help you tap in and trust yourself, and then empower you to take your gifts out there and share it with the world. And that's how we change the world. Thank you.